How's it going, YouTube? Today we are working on the Bronco and we are just doing some maintenance. A couple weeks ago, I think it was a week ago, we went four-wheeling and we got very muddy. On top of that, it was just time for an oil change, time to clean the air filter out and things like that. So I just hit 28,000 miles. And it's time to do a little bit of a checkup and check over some things and also address some things to make it so they are not an issue in the future. So I just got done changing my oil. I got my air filter out. The filter is drying and I want to take a look at the map sensors. So I have a map sensor here and I have a map sensor here. This is the 2.7 liter 2021 Bronco. Now, all EcoBoost motors have map sensors. Doesn't matter what year it is. Usually what you can do is you just go to the airbox where your filter sits and you follow these tubes. Now, a lot of people talk about how these engines look ridiculous, they need to cover whatever. These tubes are what is feeding air into your turbos and then back into the mass airflow sensor and the throttle. So this is your throttle plate. This is when you hit the gas pedal. This is the piece that is opening and closing to allow more air in, to allow you to accelerate. So you are going to follow these tubes and you're going to look for sensors like this in it and sensors like this in it. And this is very simple maintenance. This will help go for a long time. I have not purchased these sensors for a Bronco. I know for a 3.5 liter they are around $50 to $70 per sensor, so it's worth doing a little maintenance every now and then just to keep them clean. This sensor right here on the Bronco just twists out. I already have mine out, but you can see the little pattern there on the sensor. So it just goes in and then you twist it to lock it into place, and now it's in there. So I'm going to twist it out. Now there is a little tab on this back side. Right here is a slot. There's a little tab that you have to lift up to get that out, and of course mine broke. So I will probably have to grab a new sensor. I'm going to see how tight this stays in. So all you have to do to clean these though is go get something like this, mass airflow sensor cleaner. Now, mass airflow sensors are MAFs. We have map sensors. I don't remember what the P stands for, but this cleaner is safe for it. So all you're going to do is spray this sensor. You want to get in there, there's two little metal pieces and the sensor at the end. Just a couple bursts of this stuff. Let it dry out and then you will get it put back into place. So again, this just twists into place. It's in there nice and tight. Now we're going to come up here, and I already started to undo this screw. It's a T30. Your Bronco toolkit will have that in there, and this is going to twist out. Maybe my connector is a little different because I have the JB4 tuner on there. I was hoping I could get it out. There we go. Just turn and lift up. Now this sensor is different, but same principle. We're just going to hold it up. Just clean out all those windows. Let this dry off. Get that put back in there. Get our screw. Now these screws are just going into plastic. So make sure they're tight, but not too tight. If you strip these out, you're not gonna like what you have to do to fix it. So I believe that is it. I traced these tubes and I do not find any other map sensors. So this is pretty easy. I mean, This goes directly to that turbo on the passenger side. This one goes straight down to the turbo down there on the driver's side. And everything else is coming off of the airbox. So I don't see anything else. So it looks like the 2.7 liter has two. I would expect the 2.3 liter to have two sensors also. And again, same process, follow the tube around, just look for those sensors. You will see sensors that look very similar to this. The next thing I want to address is alternators. I've seen some videos talking about alternator failures, them getting dirty, muddy, whatever. Well, this last weekend when I went four-wheeling, I went in way deeper mud than anticipated. You can tell that by the mud line in my tailgate. So that is pretty high up off the ground. I mean, that is just about to the top of the tires. I went in some deep stuff. I have a 4-year-old that is a bad influence on me, and he always goes, just do it, go dad, go. So he pushed me, and we just said the heck with it, and we went into some deep stuff. So no failures, nothing happened to my Bronco. We just had a really good time. But now it is time to take a look at the Bronco and make sure we have things cleaned out and they are ready to go for the next time. Okay, so the next thing we need to address is the alternator. What can you do to help keep it working, protect it so that you don't run into an electrical failure when you are out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the desert, mountains, whatever? What you need to do is go pick up something like this. Just spray silicone, 100% spray silicone, not a penetrant, not WD-40, not PB Blaster. This is the same brand as PB Blaster. Doesn't matter what brand you use. Spray silicone. Look at the bottle. This one even shows people using it on a winch. I use this stuff for a lot of things. I use it to protect boat electronics too. It helps displace and keep things clean. So 2.7 liter again. This is, you need to get yourself a little trim tool and pop these out. I'm in the passenger side wheel well. And you can see all the lovely dirt coming out. So back here, you can see the silver piece with metal fins on it. I'll try and get you in there. Very hard to do. Straight back here, the silver piece of metal fins, that is your alternator. So it is kind of low, but again, we're on top of the frame, so it's still 2 feet plus off the ground. When you're driving through mud, as long as you don't just blast through it and you take your time, your alternator shouldn't get too filthy. When you send it and you go 100 miles an hour through mud, it's gonna fly up and go everywhere. So when you do go through mud, take your time and open this up, pop these clips off, and spray off in there with a pressure washer. And then what you can do is take your spray silicone and just spray as much of your alternator as you can. So obviously I'm filming, it's hard for me to focus on what I'm doing, but you get the point. You want to try not to spray the belt like I just thoroughly did. Maybe not, maybe I sprayed the bracket. So spray in there with the spray silicone, get it coated as best you can. This is going to help displace the water. This is going to help just keep your alternator alive. I'm in the Midwest. Mud is kind of the only thing I have for four-wheeling. So if you look at my engine bay, I have to pressure wash this whole thing out. I have mud everywhere. So if you take your time and you take care of your vehicle, it doesn't matter if it's a 1984 runner, it doesn't matter if it's an old Blazer, Bronco, Jeep, whatever. If you take your time to take care of it, it is going to treat you much better down the road. So doing things like cleaning your air filter, cleaning your mass airflow map sensors, cleaning your alternator out, spraying it with some sort of protectant like silicone, this is going to help things last a lot longer. Now, one more thing to address when you hit and you're doing heavy mud like I did last weekend is I just showed you how filthy the engine bay is. That means that more than likely the mud came through here. So this is the AC condenser back behind the grill. This is the intercooler, which is down here more behind the winch. And then you have your radiator. You need to take a hose, not a pressure washer, just a standard garden hose. And you want to try your best to get in here and just spray this out until the water runs clear. These fins and everything, try and get, it's hard to do because this is all covered up. So you have metal fins back here and those get filled with dirt. It's little passageways that air can go through to help cool your coolant, cool your engine, and things like that. You need to spray that out until the water runs clear so that you keep your cooling capacity. After you go through mud several times, those get packed up and you're going to be driving down the highway and your temperature is just going to climb and climb and climb until you overheat. And it's not due to a part failure, it's due to the fact that you packed your cooling system, your radiator, your AC condenser, whatever, with mud, and you need to get that junk out of there. So get done four-wheeling, and it could take a while depending on how muddy you got, but spray through your grill. You could even take your grill off if you need to make it easier. These have the active shutter system, which is another layer you would have to remove, but just get a hose in there, do the best you can, get everything cleaned out. So just a couple tips to keep you up and going, the biggest one being the alternator. Those are things you can do to protect it. Looking down from the top of the engine, I can't even really see the alternator, so it leads me to believe this is truly the only way to get there. Obviously when you're done, plug this stuff back in, but those are a few things to keep you going down the road, keep you going on the trail, and keep your vehicle, be it a Bronco or whatever, up and running for a long time. So hope you enjoyed the tips. Thanks for watching.